So basically, we'll start with functional programming today. Or, I will start with the Lambda expressions. I'll tell you about functional programming also. Okay. So now, before I tell you anything about Lambda expression, let's first clear our basics right. For example, this marks the beginning of a class or a method. So these are curly braces, right? This is round brackets, or these are also known as parentheses. What you see besides method. Okay, this is square bracket, or you call it as a box. You can call it as a box bracket also. Right? In generics, I told you this, these are angular brackets, or these are also known as diamond operator. Right? So curly braces, parentheses, right? Square bracket or round bracket, angular bracket or diamond operator, which you saw with generics. Right? Where we said typecasting not required, type safety should be there, and class cast exception should, can be avoided. This you must have seen with arrays. This belongs to functions, or this belongs to methods basically. And curly braces, we know it marks the beginning or end of a class, or it marks the beginning or end of an interface in a class. Right? So these four symbols we should be very much comfortable with. Then comes a concept called functional interface. In Java now there is an annotation called functional interface. Right? This annotation is used on top of interfaces only. Now, what is the job of this, annotation? See, the job of this annotation is to tell that that interface has got only one method declared as part of it. When an interface has got only one method declared, as part of an interface, as part of that very interface, right? That interface is called as a function interface. Only one method declared as part of that interface. That interface becomes a functional interface. Now in Java, we have been given many functional interfaces. But Lambda expression is directly linked with functional interfaces. Okay, let me give you an example. Right. So I can create, under that I can create a new package, let's say called class 2 for JFS. Under this package, I'm going to create first class, which is, let's understand what Lambda expressions are. Right, so I named this class as Lambda expression 1. But let's take an example of a functional interface first. Right? I'm going to take as a very simple example that this is, let's say, a function, an interface, and I wrote a functional interface on top of it. Right? I got an error message that this is not a functional interface right now. But I just printed out one method which says show message, and which expects a message as a part of a parameter. Now you see the error has gone. Right? Only one method declared as part of an interface. If I try to include another method as part of an interface, again I got a compilation error that this is not a functional interface. So functional interface is an interface which has got only one method declared as part of it. Right? Has got only one method declared as part of it. Right? Now there are multiple ways that I can use this interface. Okay. You can create a ABC class you can implement this sample interface, you'll get a compilation error that you must implement the inherited abstract method show message. When I click on add unimplemented method, it gives me this message. Right? I just returned a message, let's say, hello everyone. This method just returns one string. Right? Okay. So let me just create a new class and let's say old style of dealing with interfaces. Right? Whatever I have written here, let me just take it to that very class because I would like to create a main method. Right? So this is my class. And as part of a main method, I can create an instance of my class and I can call this function called show message. Let's say the message says welcome and I am passing a parameter as two lambda expressions or two functional programming. Like I gave this message. Now this will show, besides this I can print the same message. It will say welcome to functional programming. This method will return that. Now since this method is returning, I can do this. It will simply print me welcome to functional programming. Right? It says welcome to functional programming. This is an old way of dealing with interfaces. That old way is still there. Right? I'm going to tell you the new way to deal with interfaces. The new way is, on the left hand side you mention the parent interface, of course within main method. At the time of object declaration, right, this is the object. Now see the lambda programming. It expects one parameter. This is called as a lambda sign and it returns a particular message. Right? It returns a particular message. So I'm going to go to my previous class. I'm going to copy this message parameter. Right? Or I can simply say, welcome to, after that, whatever parameter that you will send, I will print it here. So the same thing which I wrote like this, I first implemented a method, then I call the method with the message and SOP printed for us. This we are very much comfortable with. Right? But here this sign hyphen greater than is called as lambda. This is how we pass a parameter. This is what is a function body. So there is no name required, no, in a single line, basically. So, when I run this, this has a function called show message. Here I will give again two functional programming. Right? So this method, the definition exists for the method here. This is the definition for this method. And if I print it within SOP, it will give me a same output. Same output using lambda and same output using old way of implementation. So what is lambda basically? What is lambda expression? Right? See, lambda expression, I told you that this is a lambda. This is a lambda sign. This is a lambda expression basically. Now, what exactly is lambda expression doing? right? See, lambda expression is defining the inline implementation of a functional interface. Lambda expression is giving, lambda expression is defining, you know, the inline implementation of a functional interface. We are giving the inline implementation of a functional interface. This is an inline implementation, right, of a functional interface which we have written here. That is a job of a lambda expression. So you can say lambda is only for that interface which has got only one method declared as part of it. You'll ask me, what have we achieved? We have achieved the excellent style of coding. That rather than defining the entire thing like this, the old way, I can also give an inline implementation like this. Right? For example, just one more example, I have one more interface, called my comparator. Again, I'm going to annotate it with functional interface. And it has a compare method. I will give two numbers to it and I expect a Boolean output, true and false kind of an output, which it will tell me whether A is greater than B or A is less than B or A is equal to B. This method will tell us that. So again, I thought of giving an inline implementation of a functional interface, which is my comparator. Second object, it expects two parameters, A or B. I can name anything. It is not mandatory. This message I said, but it could have been any other thing. For example, this is ABC. It will still give me the same output. Two parameters, X and Y. Lambda. When I say return X greater than Y, this is the inline implementation of a comparator. Now, using this object, if I call that function compare, if I say 2 is greater than 5, I am expecting it will give me false. Right? It will give me false right now, that 2 is actually not greater than 5. Right? Here I could have given more things. For example, return X and Y. You can also give, for example, I'll give you more examples, but let's not put more into this. So right now, what have we seen? That lambdas, this is a lambda expression. It is used only for two things. One, inline implementation of a functional interface, in a same line implementation of a functional interface. And one more thing is there. If you remember yesterday, I was telling you about anonymous class way of implementation. So Lambda has actually eliminated the need of anonymous class way of implementation also. Eliminated. Lambda says that also you don't require. Okay. That also you don't require. Right? Let's take one more example, basic example, not much, similar to that only. Lambda with anonymous. Then I'll give you all the examples. So again, I'm going to have an interface called greeting. Right? And I'm going to annotate it with functional interface. It has a function called say hi. It has that function declared as part of it. Okay. Now I have a class, hello greeting, which implements this called greeting. So I will have to give a definition to this inherited abstract method. Say
Hello, hi.
all right. So right. So I was just giving you one more example, basic example right now. I have not taken any tough example. I will take a tough example also. But here I was also saying the same thing, that when you implement an interface, you can give any, you can just say, so here, in this class, this method is there, right? And I can give any message, right? Hi everyone. Now in this class, I can't create a main because public is not there and the class name matches with this, right? So here I can create an instance of this class and I can call this function. Right? It will simply print us. This is the old Java way of, we have to be comfortable with this. Interface is a blueprint for class files. I gave an implementation and I called the method. This is the usual thing. And I told you that you can use the anonymous class way of implementation also. What was that? Interface on the left hand side, object, new, you know implement class, or if I just want to give implementation only, right? Here I can define that function. This function I can define, right? This is the anonymous class way of implementation, which we saw yesterday also, right? After that, using this object, I can call a function, say hi. First, it will print hi everyone from this object. Then it will print anonymous class way of implementation, right? This way. And the same thing I can do with Lambda also. You know, this, let's say obj3. Now, no parameter to this function. Using this, you know, I can call the function say hi. This will also say, this is the same thing using Lambda. Right? All are doing the same thing. Here we are doing it as part of an inline implementation of a functional interface, F5, right? Functional interface. Okay. These are simple examples right now. Right? As part of this also, right? This is also easy, that let's say there is an interface called calculator. Right? And let's say that is also a functional interface. Now it expects one method declared as part of it. Right? It has a calculate method which expects two parameters. Declaration, and return type will also be integer. This is also a functional interface. Now here in the main class, I come, this is obj4. Okay, it expects two parameter, lambda, right? Now using obj4, I can, so right now only one statement was there as part of inline implementation. I want to calculate something, right? For example, whatever number you will give me, I will randomly add a number to it. So there is a random API in Java. Which just gives you a random number. in a limit. This is used to give a primary key, right? So here I created a variable called random number. I simply use this object and I call a function called, next integer within 50. Randomly within from 1 to 50, a number will be given to you. And what you need to return is x plus y plus this random number. This is what it is going to calculate. Now using this obj4, I can call this calculate. If I just pass 2 comma 3, every time the output will be different. Because 2 plus 3 is 5. But with that, any random number from 1 to 50 will be added. 11, right? 37, keep running it. Every time a new number will be given to you. 40, right? So now, write this down. See, I tell you the methodology to learn Java. From my experience, I can tell you that, right? Which is, if you write a same code same code at least 3 to 5 times, right? You will come to know about this language. I'm giving you, the methodology basically. Your hand should keep writing. Now you may say that I can't write a new code, right? Everyone has this problem. So there is, if I, even I'm not perfect. But my point is, keep writing. If you can adopt that methodology, it will help you, right? So I'm just putting this, 2 classes. I think this old way of implementation, this you don't need, right? Okay. So I'm just putting this, in front of each other. Okay, you can write this again. If anyone has a doubt, you're free to tell me. I will again, explain this. After this, I will take a little tough example, but the objective will be same. To give an inline implementation of a function interface, or to eliminate this anonymous style way of coding, or give another alternative to anonymous style of coding. Right? So please let me know once once you write this. Right? So at least we just be responsive when you just write it. First of all, this idea is clear about Lambda. What exactly is this expression doing? This expression.